Okay, this is hopefully a quick reply to MrHerrIQarthur. Thank you for your video, your first video, which I watched in total. It took me a few days to plough through it, but I watched it in half an hour chunks. And I was just coming out here to do a quick reply to you to say don't go too overboard on your summarised version, and I've just seen you've done another 3-hour video, so I haven't watched that yet. But what I wanted to say was, and what I was going to do was to PM you or post it or something, and just really to say that we probably don't really have hello, what you doing here? Don't really have a sorry, the cat's just getting in the way. We don't really have a great deal to talk about, because the subject I was talking about was I was talking with GM for the People and some other people who were putting forward ideas that they'd gleaned from, the science of genetics, as support, for their various ideological ideas. And since I know a little bit about that subject, what I was doing was sort of playing devil's advocate with them and putting forward alternative explanations for the kinds of things that they've been doing, because you get this quite a lot on the internet. You get people who are quite well informed about something, and they think they're doing science or being scientific or being critical thinkers, but what they're actually doing is they're starting with an ideology, and then they're going looking for evidence that supports their view, and that, I hope you would agree, is not doing science. In fact, it's the opposite of science. If you're a scientist, what you do is you have a guess as an idea. You might be an educated guess, but it's a guess nonetheless, and then you studiously try to destroy that idea by trying to find ways to falsify it, to invalidate it. And so having an idea in your head in the first place, and then just looking for the authorities that might either say something that's supportive of your idea or could be twisted or manipulated to fit your idea, is not in the spirit of science, not being fair to the data. Now, having listened to your, what was it, nearly 5-hour video, I think I've got a much better understanding of your position. That, you know, I'm sorry if you were offended by my ignorant categorizations, I have been educated, but really kind of on every point, what you really say is that you don't care, that you don't care about whether, you know, for instance, whether somebody's character is determined genetically or environmentally. It really wouldn't matter either way. If there was the most splendid study going that controlled for everything and whatever, it really wouldn't matter to you what the result was. I you know, I agree with you entirely, but for different reasons, and I draw different conclusions from that. My position would be that it really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether we are born with these traits, or they are our condition, or our conditions. I you know, I have an opinion on what the most likely what the most likely scenario is, but that when it comes to, you know, a question of morality or ethics, you know, the science tells us nothing about how we should proceed or how we should treat people. Whereas I think your position and what you said again and again is that what appears to be what you're saying is that you have a visceral gut reaction to something in the world, which, you know, we all have. We all have these visceral gut reactions to things, and that's all that matters. You have this gut reaction to something, and it really doesn't matter what other information is available to you. That's the overriding important thing to you, and that's fine, except that presumably you're expecting other people to think that's fine, or to think that that's fine for you to order the lives of others based on your visceral reaction. And I think that's what I kind of meant about you know, making a religion out of Darwin. Now I was wrong on the in the case of you, in that I now understand that you were not trying to make extract moral messages from the science of genetics and evolution, but you're certainly allowing your psychology to guide you know, how guide your thinking, right? So instead of just accepting your visceral reaction to the world as what it is, just this visceral reaction, and exploring that and trying to understand it, and what you're doing is trying to endorse it, and I think that's you know, you know, in order to be you know, you're applying your critical thinking, but you're not applying it to these feelings that we all have. And so when you say things like you know, you don't understand, you know, you don't understand this feeling, I think it shows a lack of imagination on your part, in that, you know, we all have these feelings, and you know, we have other feelings as well. You know, we may feel bad about those initial feelings or whatever, or we may have prejudices that subsequent data shows to be wrong or whatever, and we would be an idiot to ignore that subsequent data, and if not, might not stop the feelings from happening, but we would learn to distrust them. You know, we can't always trust our feelings. Our feelings are what they are, and you know, our prejudices are what they are, and our prejudices can be very useful if we haven't got any or very little information about something. They allow us to at least roughly model what we might expect, but you know, when it actually comes to it, and we've got more information, then we'll be stupid not to use that information to refine our model, and learn to distrust feelings that consistently missed the mark. If you're frightened of spiders and nothing ever happens, you know, you can still be frightened of spiders, but you can know at a sort of a rational level that you know, that feeling of being frightened of spiders is you know, is ridiculous and counterproductive, and you know, it is possible to do something about it, but kind of your approach will be to, you know, maybe I got you wrong, but would be to fantasize about living in a world without spiders, or go to live in the Antarctic or something, rather than maybe seeking some cognitive behavioural therapy or something that might dampen these feelings. They might not eliminate them entirely, but they might make them more manageable. So instead of feeling like you're going to die, you know, you just feel slightly uncomfortable or something. And really, you know, given that you've kind of said that, you know, you're not acting on your feelings, or at least not only as far as, or if you are, only as far as putting your opinions out on YouTube, then you are dampening you are controlling your urges, and we all do that, and you know, thank God, because if we didn't, then if everybody acted on their urges, then we'd be in a right bloody mess. I was going to say something else. Yeah, so what you were saying was this. Yeah, okay, rein in my urges, and I don't, but that I still feel bad. Yeah, so I'm sorry about that, but you know, that is, you know, that is your problem, and that's the problem that, you know, we all have, you know, about something or other, or some things or other, and you know, we as individuals are not the centre of the universe, and you know, we can't really expect the rest of the world to bend to how our ignorant psychology presents itself to our consciousness. Yeah, so anyway, that's about it really. So sorry if you felt miscategorized. Though I must admit I was somewhat amused, or you know, that, well, the irony was not lost on me, you know, that given that the views that well, that you were you know, you were saying you didn't care either way about various things, but you know, you did have an opinion on them, and given that you and others you know, are categorizing people in ways that they would like. It's kind of ironic that that you are you yourself are not above being outraged about being categorized yourself. So anyway, I will listen to your last video, and as I say, I can't expect, well, I don't expect to be able to say very much more, because I was interested in talking to people who were holding genetic views about things, and you don't seem to be interested in that. So, or at least for you, it's your own psychology that's king, and that trumps your you know, the lizard brain rules, and I don't know, that just seems preposterously silly to me. It's a good thing to always doubt your own thoughts about things, but in general, but certainly your feelings, because just through experience, you know, they can be wrong on so many levels. Anyway.